Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, comparing the ZR2 Bison to the AT4X AEV edition. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Murray, Utah, for giving me some time with the Chevy. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Nick. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So powering the AT4X is the Duramax diesel. It's a 3-liter inline 6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 305 horsepower and then 495 pound-feet of torque. And with fuel economy, you can expect to average in the 20s. And guess what? The ZR2 has the exact same powertrain under the hood because I tried to make this comparable. But with both of them, you can also get a 6.2-liter V8, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, a big difference with the trucks is going to be the front end style. So you can see with the GMC, you've got kind of like a cleaner design here with the hood. You see the C-shaped headlight design here. And then look at the bumper from AEV. It's actually different from the ZR2 bumper, also from AEV. You can see here how this bumper kind of has this little section. The GMC does not, but the overall shape is very similar with both the bumpers. They both have extra skid plate protection underneath. But what I'd say is the Chevy has this more aggressive, sporty look, whereas that has kind of like a cleaner look, kind of a little bit more elegant, I guess is a way that you could put it. Let me know which front end design you like best. I kind of lean towards the Chevy and actually like the hood bulge, even though it kind of gets in the way of visibility. It looks cool. Now, when it comes to tire and wheel setup, it's identical. 275, 70, 18 in the front and in the rear with the GMC, and same thing here with the Chevy. But the wheel design is completely different. You can see the Chevy kind of has this almost like clover type design with the AEV wheels, whereas the GMC, see the design's a little bit different. So let me know which wheel design you like more, but the functionality on them is, well, identical. And then this is interesting. You guys can see Duramax there and then ZR2, whereas this has the Duramax turbo diesel badge just like that. And then AT4X down below. So interesting with the badge differences. We both have the rock rail protection here on these sides, and the mirror caps are actually surprisingly similar. Same thing with the door handles. You can see that's the same with the trucks. But notice the body lines here are actually a little bit different. Very similar, but it's just kind of, I think the bigger part of it's more like the fender flare area here, how it's shaped. It's kind of more rounded off in the Chevy, whereas it's a little bit more squared off with the GMC. And when it comes to shocks, they both have the Multimatic shocks, and we've got leaf springs with both of them. And so here's your full side view with the ZR2. And then here's your full side view with the AT4X. Now when it comes to key fobs, functionality is the same, just different logos on the back of them. And then popping into the bed, you guys can see here with the ZR2, you've got the ZR2 logo there at the center. Got LED lights, got a full outlet here in the back as well, protection from the factory. This has the what's called the multi-flex with Chevy. Nothing too crazy, just folds down to be a step. And, you know, pretty light, not too heavy. Anyways, with the GMC, everything is identical except you do have the kicker sound system with this. So it's kind of a little bit of difference. And it actually makes it a little bit heavier with the lift-up function. And then when it comes to rear style, you can see that they both have the satin black there at the top of the bed, and then we've got the upgraded bumper from AEV. And I'm just looking at the bumper on both of them, and it looks pretty much identical for the rear bumper. So I mean, that makes sense, right? Again, the design pretty similar with the back end. But anyways, let me know if you like the look of the Silverado more, or if you like the look of the Sierra more. Now, popping inside, you can see the material use here in the Silverado, and space is gonna be the same, so I'm not gonna pop in with the trucks, but you guys can see the space here in the back, and then the design on the rest of the seat. Got the behind the seat storage as well. Heated seats in the back with the Chevy, and quickly pop over to the GMC, where you can see completely different design here, more luxury with the look. And I gotta clean this seat up. So we'll look at the other seat. You can see there again with that design continues. Still have the behind the seat storage. I went off-roading yesterday, that's why that's there. Heated seats, all that. So just kind of like nicer materials, but same cabin. And so this leads us to the front. Ooh. So again, you can see this design here with the material use on the Chevy, and then all the controls in the steering wheel. You're gonna notice there's a bunch of carryover. Advanced four-wheel drive system. So the light controls, you got the drive mode select, which just has a few different drive modes, including the terrain mode. full digital gauge cluster. And then we've got this 360 camera system where you can see out of every single angle with the truck. And then down below you can see a bunch of controls. Important stuff, we got front rear locking differentials. You got your controls for your heated and ventilated seats, dual zone climate, trailer brake controls. You can see the storage here. Nice the center console, wireless phone charging pad. And then we got heads up display and then trim on the dash, soft touch. And the dash design on the Chevy, you'll notice compared to the GMC, it's not as, like this part's raised, but then the rest of it kind of slopes down, if that makes sense. We got the double glove box here. Nice trim on the outside. Camera rear view mirror. We got a sunroof in this one, and then power sliding rear window. I almost forgot to mention AEV there in the headrest, but here are the seats, again, easy to clean. And look at the bolstering. Remember the bolstering here on these seats, because that's important. And popping over into the GMC. So again, just difference with the material use, and then with these seats, I don't like the bolsters on these seats as much. They're smaller, and they're kind of like raised a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that on these sides. So these seats, even though they have massage function, they're not as comfortable as the Chevy seats. You can see the difference with the center console design. And then notice how the dash is higher in the GMC. It slopes down there at the end, but it kind of has a higher look. So it's like you deal with the hood bulge in that, and then you deal with the higher dash in this one. Outside of that, everything else is the same. I mean, the sound system, it's a nicer sound system, so it sounds a little bit better. But all the controls and everything are identical with the truck, so that's, oh, also we got a premium headliner in the GMC. That's another difference. Now, when it comes to pricing, that ZR2 stickers for about $83,000, and then this stickers for close to $89,000. And so again, there's about a $6,000 price difference between them. Let's drive them, sum things up. Well, let's start off in the ZR2, and then we'll set off in the AT4X second. Yeah, the seats in the ZR2 are just more comfortable. It's interesting because you'd think the more luxury truck would have, would have more comfortable seats, but it's just not the case. This bolstering is just more open, and it does, I mean, in my opinion, it makes a big difference. It makes an important difference between them. But when it comes to the actual drive, I suspect because they're the same truck, they should pretty much drive the same. So we're not going to do a super long test drive, just kind of go through the motions. Love this diesel, such a good powertrain. You know, the hood bulge doesn't bother me as much as the high dash. That's such a weird thing, but just like, because I drove the AT4X up here, the hood bulge, it's there, but it's not as annoying as the dash being higher. I don't know why that is, but that's the thing. But yeah, of course, great torque out of the Duramax. I've said this in the past, you know, the 6.2 V8's a cool powertrain, but I'm still team Duramax. I love diesels in any truck, especially half ton, and it's just so torquey, and it just fits the character of this truck. This is not a Raptor, right? This is kind of like, and I took the AT4X off-road. It's like a middle speed to low speed off-roader, and so the shocks in the truck and, you know, the powertrain, that all kind of comes together. And diesels are better for, you know, slow to middle speed off-roading compared to big V8s. They just, yeah, with the high torque at low RPMs and everything, it just makes sense. So with that being said, I guess I'll get one more little acceleration, and then we'll pop into the AT4X and see if it performs any different. But I mean, same truck, it shouldn't. If it does, then weird quality control, right? Yeah, such a good powertrain. But let's pop over into the GMC. Let us set off in the AT4X. Turn that off so it's not super noisy for you guys. Interesting that it sounds like the diesel sounds almost like different in this truck. I almost feel like I can hear more. I wonder if the insulation, that'd be weird if the insulation would be better on the Chevy. That'd be so weird. Yeah, the diesel almost sounds different in this truck. That is so strange. But yeah, the seats, I mean, they have the massage function, which is nice, but just not as comfortable. I would much rather be in those Chevy seats. But yeah, in terms of the ride and everything, the steering wheel feels a little bit different. Not really. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same truck. It drives identically, which is exactly what was expected. Just different view over the dash. Really good torque. torque though still. So to sum things up, this is my personal, non-professional opinion with these two trucks. I like the ZR2 better. I think that the ZR2 makes more sense for what these trucks are trying to do. These trucks are trying to be off-road, especially the AEV package, right? Off-road trucks. And the ZR2 having the interior that's easier to clean, and, you know, having basically the seats that are a little, I feel like those seats would be better just long-term off-road seats that are a little bit more comfortable so that you don't get cramped up and everything off-road. And then the lower price tag, it all makes sense. Like with this truck, all the stuff that you're paying extra for, you know, the nicer headliner, the better sound system. I know some people are sound system nerds. I'm not, personally. And then the nicer interior, none of this stuff I personally care about. I'm like, cool, you can keep it. So with that being said, let me know if you're AT4X or ZR2. I think that the ZR2 though is the winner out of the bunch, and that's all.